I've survived over 3,000 days of building a massive kingdom in hardcore Minecraft, so I think it's about time we finally give this kingdom a castle. Not just any castle, no. I'm gonna push myself to the absolute limit and build the most insane castle that I've ever built, making it so big that it's gonna cover this entire mountaintop and peek through the clouds. Sounds easy, right? Right? Anyway, I have been working on this build for several months now, and I finally have a design that I think will fit perfect on the mountain. So why not light up that TNT and blow up the subscribe button while I go over the plan. First I want to start by building up a huge entrance, something that looks intimidating to signify power with two massive towers at each side of the gate. Next I want to attach a huge building which will be the main part of the castle. That building will then attach to an additional building that will tower the entire castle, with a massive tower standing next to it. And of course there will be a bunch of other details such as towers, a garden, additional buildings, and a wall surrounding the entire mountaintop for additional protection from those nasty invaders. So now I just need to actually build it. Oh boy. So the main gate is going to be at the top of this mountain, and I've been super busy gathering up more resources than I can count, so let's see how long they last. After months of planning, it feels so good to finally get a start on actually building the castle in my hardcore world. And I really wanted this one to look big and bulky when compared to other castles that I've previously built. So I started with a huge tower for one side of the castle gate. I also went with a colour palette that would bring a nice colour tone to the build, as most of the castles that I've previously built have been loaded with stone and other grey blocks, which can sometimes be a little bit boring. But for this one, I love the combination of the packed mud bricks and the stripped oak. They work so well together, along with the additional whites from the mushroom stem, bone blocks and the smooth quartz. And to complete the tower, I topped it off with some deep slate for the roof, which I also used for a little bit of detailing earlier on. Once the first tower was all in place, I worked on the second tower and then added a walkway between them. Although I will be coming back to add more details when I connect the gate to the main building. Okay, 6 hours later and finally the gate is all in place and looking pretty good. But man, that was a lot of building and I'm barely getting started. Not to mention I do have lots more detail to do around the entrance, but I'll get back to that when I start the main building. However, I'm already burning through my resources way quicker than I expected. So I really need to find a faster way of gathering materials, especially mud, as I haven't really found any large swamps to gather it from. So maybe it's time for a mud farm to really help speed up the process. I mean, I have a bunch of empty houses in the city, so I have plenty of place for one. Yeah, this one should do. There's plenty of room up here for the farm, and then downstairs I can add a bunch of storage for all the drops. So looks like we're gonna need to do a little bit of redstone. Hold on, how does this work again? Only joking. Trust me, I got this. So this one is a pretty basic design, but basically I have a bunch of dirt in here which spits out one block every time I break one. So all I need to do is place the dirt down here and then the water bottle shoots out the dispenser and turns it into mud. Just like that. So let's break it and repeat the process. To be fair, it's certainly not the fastest farm. But I guess it does the job for now, so let's grab some more dirt and turn it into mud. Okay, I'm absolutely sweating my butt off, but I managed to mine a decent amount of mud for now. However, it looks like my shovel has seen better days. The thing is, I'm definitely going to need a lot more mud, and this farm is just too slow for my liking, so I think I'm going to have to rethink the design for something a lot faster. I decided to take a little break from the farm as I'd already spent hours shoveling mud, so I definitely needed a change of scenery. So I cleared out some of my shulker boxes and then headed off to gather some more materials while I tried to rethink the farm design. The first thing I done was head to the end so that I could take some frustration out on those endermen, and of course repair my tools at the same time. I then headed back to the overworld and started gathering resources. I only really needed dark oak logs and mushroom stems, so I headed off to the dark oak forest and started chopping away at the trees. And after a few hours I had more than enough logs to get on with, so I moved on to gathering mushroom stems. And oh my gosh, do I hate gathering these things. I mean seriously, I could literally gather diamonds faster than this. If only fortune worked on mushroom blocks too. Man, that would just save so much time. And of course my tools did take a hammering, so I did have to make a few more stops by the Enderman farm to repair them again. And finally, after all that grinding, I came up with a great idea for the mud farm, which I knew would make it way faster and increase the efficiency. This time however, I decided to build the new design over by my tree farm so that I could make use of the TNT duper, which would eliminate my need to actually mine any dirt. I mean, the design was mostly the same with the addition of a few extra pistons to help push the mud over to the TNT, plus when the mud broke it would fall down into the water stream and go directly into my storage system, which saved me so much time. Man, I absolutely love this farm, it is so much faster than the other one. So let's grab some more dirt and run this one for a good hour or so to see how much mud we can actually make. And of course to check that it's working properly. This is going to save me so much time. So now that I have tons of mud, I should probably craft it all into packed mud. And maybe some mud bricks as well. Well, that was a journey and a half, but finally we can get back to building. So, you know the drill? Let's do this. Okay, that took me like 10 hours. And don't get me wrong, it's looking pretty good, but this castle needs to be massive, and right now it's looking rather flat, kinda like a pancake. Which means I should probably work on getting the first part of the main building in next, and then we can work from there. Let's see, I have a decent amount of mushroom stems and quartz blocks. I also have a good amount of bones, but how many bone blocks does that give me? Not that many actually. Okay, well off to the mob farm it is, as I'm gonna need a lot more than that. What do we have for bones? Really? Is that it? Okay, let's quickly grab some string and craft a few wall blocks. And I can lock myself in here safely so that I can go AFK for a few hours. Okay, what do we have? Not bad, but I was hoping for a bit more than that, to be honest. Ah, damn, I forgot to bring my shulker box. Seriously, I think I spend more time flying back and forth than actually building. Do I have an empty shulker? Ah, this one should do. Well, let's throw all those in there. And now I can craft them into bone blocks. Okay, that should do the job for now. The only other thing I need is some cobble deep slate, unless I have some in storage. Okay, forget that, looks like I have plenty in here, so let's throw a bunch of that in here. And I should probably craft some of that into deep slate bricks, as I will be needing a bunch of those too. What the? Where did you guys come from? Damn, these things get on my nerves. Fine, you guys asked for it. Nah, what's wrong? That sun too hot for ya? Okay, time to get serious and organize my shulkers for some building. And I want to start working on the main building and the connection between that and the gate. I mean, I've already put so much time into this video and it feels like I've barely even got started yet because there is just so much more building to do. But I'm committed now, so let's place down some shulkers and get to work. After what felt like endless days of building, I decided to take a little break from all the climbing and concentration. So I took some time out to do a little terraforming and fill in all the holes to level out the grass of the area of what would become the castle garden. Not to mention taking out a few mobs along the way, restocking my shulker boxes full of the green stuff, placing more grass, taking out more mobs, placing more grass, taking out more mobs. Okay, I think you get the point. To be honest, it isn't really terraforming as such, but rather just placing grass blocks, although I did find it really relaxing. The hardest part was trying to stay awake. Okay, I think that's the grass all in place for now, which gives us a really nice area for the garden. Actually, while I remember, let's quickly take down this bamboo farm just in front of the castle, as it's just looking a bit of a mess now. I'll also grab these and fill in the water sources so that I can turn it back into grass, as I have big plans for this area later on. And I almost forgot this little area in the entranceway of the castle. So let's just fill in the floor and make a little stairway. Yeah, that's better. And by the looks of it, I'm not even halfway there yet. Not even close. Why did I take on this project? Anyway, next up I want to start working on the first part of the roof and then the back of the castle. So let's put down our shulker boxes and get back to work. Actually, it's probably a good idea to get the floors in place as I go along. Whoa, tag team, nice. That was a pretty cool takedown, but I guess I should really light this place up properly. Yep, I'm taking no chances. I'm finally back, and just a quick note for those of you that don't know, but I had to take some time out recently as I had an operation on my arm, so it's been about 3 weeks now and finally I can use my arm again. Well, I can't really lift anything heavy and I still need to be careful, but at least I can finally get back to playing Minecraft again. Yay! Anyway, I can't really remember where I left off, but my tools are looking a little rough, so let's start with a quick trip to the Enderman farm. Which way was it again? Aha, there we go. Gosh, this place makes so much noise. Don't worry though, I turned it down just for you. Well, my tools are looking a lot better now, so we should be good to get back to some building. And I think I was working on the roof. So, let's grab some deep slate and get back to work. To be honest, getting back to Minecraft was a little slower than I expected, as I could only really play for a couple of hours at a time before my arm needed a break. But I managed to slowly get through it and a decent amount of building, even though it was only in short bursts. Whoa, from down here the castle is looking so awesome and is really starting to take shape now. Although it still has a long way to go, but it's getting there. Not to mention that the inside is absolutely massive, but it's going to be about double the size and maybe even more when it's done. Hold on, how did I miss those? There we go, it's like it never happened. I think I'm going to leave one side of the roof open for now, as I will be building part of the second building through it, as it's going to go up a lot higher. So I'll fix that side of the roof up once that's all in place. Anyway, I am talking way too much, so let's get back to work on the other side of the castle. This is going to be awesome. I land it? Yes. Well, that is looking pretty sick, even if I do say so myself. I mean, I still need a lot more height on this side, but overall it is really starting to come together now, and I think this was definitely the perfect spot for a castle. Man, this is looking so cool. After spending way too long admiring my own work, I realized that I was getting low on several resources again. So I rummaged through my storage and managed to find most of what I needed, including oak logs, quartz blocks, some rooted dirt, packed mud, mud bricks, spruce logs, and I even found some bones which I crafted into more bone blocks. The only thing I couldn't find was mushroom stems, which meant that I needed to go gather some more. So I headed off to the dark oak forest, ignoring a few random floating mushrooms that magically spawned there. No, don't look at me. That's Minecraft's dodgy world generation. Anyway, I spent several hours chopping away as many mushroom stems as I could find, but honestly, this is such a slow process. I mean, seriously, am I missing something here? If you guys know a faster process, please let me know in the comments. I would super appreciate it. Anyway, back to gathering more shrooms. I also took out a few mobs along the way and also got blown up by a creeper, but luckily I lived to tell the tale. Once I got back to the castle, I found a few skellies lurking around, so I broke their bones and then quickly ran around lighting up all the dark areas I could find. Not to mention taking out a few mobs along the way. Now I finally have a few more mushroom stems, so I should just about have enough resources to finish off building this massive castle. So let's get to it. Man, this thing's gonna be a beast when it's done. Okay, let's fly down here and take a look. Oh my gosh, that is looking so awesome. All I need to do now is build the last building at the very top of the castle and then add a tower on this side here and maybe a small one just here. Ooh, you know what? I'd actually love to build a huge docks area just down here, but really I would need to remove this island to make it work. If I did, then maybe I could extend the area outside the front of the cave and maybe build up the docks all the way around this side here and fill it with ships, warehouses, shops, buildings, and create a really nice area in the front of the castle. The problem is having that island there really limits my space for building it. Let me know in the comments. Should I remove the island and build up a docks, or keep the island and do something else? I mean, it would look so cool having some ships and boats coming through to what would be a really large harbour and docks area. I think I'm getting way too ahead of myself, so let's get this castle done. Oh my gosh, just look at that. What an awesome building, and I just love the way that it sits on the side of the mountain here. It just fits so perfect. However, it's still not done, as I do need to add some windows, light up some of the darker areas, not to mention that the roof still needs texturing and maybe even a few details like dormer windows and such. But first, let's quickly pan around the castle, and as you can see, it is unique on every side. And yes, it does have a back. Not that I'm mentioning any names. I also want to make a really cool design for the garden. So let me know if you have any ideas what we could do with that. But for now, let's get those finishing touches in. Let's start with the windows. So first I'm going to need some white dye. And I'm pretty sure that I have some glass in my storage system. Fingers crossed? Yes, looks like there's plenty. So let's grab a few stacks. Wrong dye. I needed light grey, not white. Well, some azure blue it should do the trick. Actually, let's just use the entire stack. And now I can craft a bunch of light grey glass, and maybe a few glass panes as well. Alright, well there are plenty of windows to fill in, so let's start with the ones up here. There is actually a lot more windows than I realised. At this rate, I might actually need more glass. Okay, that's all the windows in the top part of the castle, so just a few more on the lower levels. Honestly, I didn't really realise just how many windows I actually added, so this might take a while. Finally, that's all the windows in place, so let's quickly take out this trader and start adding in a few doors that I missed earlier. Yeah, that looks good. Probably the perfect spot for a feast hall. Now, I just need to add a few more doors over here, another one here, and one more just here. So, I think that's most of the structure all in place now, so all I need to do is add in a few leaves and flowers to really bring this build to life. Actually, I almost forgot about the lighting, as there's still a few places that have some dark areas, so let's see what we can do. Maybe I can hide some lighting behind these trapdoors. Oh yeah, that looks much brighter now. And maybe a few more lanterns. Man, I am loving this build so much, it just looks so awesome. But I cannot tell you just how big a job this was to complete, but I finally got there in the end. Oh my gosh, day 3614, that's crazy. I mean, that's like 400 days building just this castle. Wow, that's pretty insane for one video, but was totally worth it. So now I just need to do the interior, the garden, and about a million other projects. Just looking at it from down here makes me so happy. It just looks like it was meant to be on that mountaintop. The only question is, what do I do about this island? I mean, it looks so cool, but I don't really have room to fit a working dock here unless I remove it. Also, just a quick one to thank you all for the love in my recent post about my operation. Honestly, you guys are amazing and I really appreciate your support. My arm is doing a lot better now, so there will be a lot more videos going out, so stay tuned for those and I'll catch you in the next one.